Wait a minute, that's more than our annual budget.
If Chester ever finds it, it'll have a silver lining too.
Well, Tony, let me see if I can find a phone number for Tony. If you'll bear with me just a moment.
Yeah, he didn't say a word all morning. I hope he's doing all right. And I called Molly. She didn't talk, but it sounded like she wasn't feeling good. She's supposed to tell this afternoon.
I know, in my session.
Right.
And I talked to Molly this morning too.
Chester, I sent you a chat that I think is Tony's number.
Okay, thank you, because I'm not finding it here. Great, thank you.
I think his number's up.
Well, he's out there in the Panhandle. They're pretty independent people anyway.
I have it too, if it's the same in the very old TSA yearbook directory.
Hold it up a little bit, Jay. We can't see it.
I can't see myself, just a minute.
There you
Wish
go.
we could get one of those new ones, don't you?
Yep, that's the really old one from 2018. And now all of a sudden we realize, oh, it's 4 years later. So people's phone numbers have changed,
Yeah.
but some are the same. He's not going to answer because he's trying to sign on.
He
Oh,
may have
that's
gone
it.
to lunch at that one restaurant in his town that he talks about. Oh, wait, Chester's muted and talking. I'll quit.
That's okay. Oh, hey, Valerie, I liked your story this morning. Your partial story.
Thank you very much.
too. Me too.
The Greece Islands are really fun. I haven't been to the Greece Islands, but I've been to Greece and Turkey. So
Mhm. Yeah, I love them.
yeah.
Every time I cook bacon, I get a grease island.
Oh my.
Smartass.
Well,
Got your in
Tony-
fine form today.
well, Tony is at
I've
lunch.
been storing it up for 3 years.
Tony is at lunch, and he said he'd be there in maybe 10 minutes or so.
Doesn't
So I
it
kind
You
of
were
feel
think,
right, he was at the restaurant.
You were right.
well, we do have,
It was a lunch.
Well, we're over that.
like I said, he's an
Go back
independent
to-
thinker, I guess. I'm sorry, Liz, I talked over you there. But why don't, we are recording it, and I can get him the recording, I guess. And I guess, Liz, maybe you could help by determining a quorum.
Okay,
I don't remember what the definition are, but you might know that. so,
I've been counting. I don't think we have any problem with the quorum right now.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
19 people.
And there are enough board members that we have to have a certain number of board members, but we have enough of that. We have enough board members.
Okay.
One,
Well,
two.
did everyone, I guess, got the agenda? It went out a couple times. And I thought about sharing it, but when I share it, I can't see your faces, and I really need to be able to see who's smiling and who's frowning when we get on an agenda item. So it's a kind of a multi-page deal here. So I hope you either have a copy of it either on your screen or you've printed out a copy. And also, you were sent a separate treasurer's report because Rosemary only got some of the data she needed really late yesterday. And so she worked last night and got the report done. And so you should have that also. But, well, let's call this meeting to order. I have whatever it is. It looks like it's about 22 or 23 till 2. And
Is Sharon on? Sharon's our treasurer. I mean, it's our secretary, Sharon. Is she on?
No, not Tony's our secretary.
Tony's secretary.
Oh, that's right.
Sharon was secretary last year, so that's the one that took the minutes on the membership meeting. So
Okay,
that's why
you
she
gonna
had to do the report.
Don't name me, but name somebody to take notes for him.
We're
we
said-
recording. We're recording,
we're-
Barbara.
We're
Never
recording
mind.
it, Barbara.
Never mind. I've got it.
We'll record. Yeah, okay. We can make up something here anyway. Well, we'll be pretty close. Honorable people. So we've
Yeah.
established that there's a quorum, Liz. We appreciate your looking that over. In front of the agenda, is there anything that you feel we need to add or change? Anything going down through the agenda as new items that come up at the last minute? Well, if you think of something during the meeting, we'll work on it too. It's we can handle that.
Do we need a motion to approve the agenda?
I
No.
don't know. Do I?
No? Okay.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say that was a new one, I think. But okay, we do have the minutes from last year, and have we decided whether Sharon is with us or not? Sharon Rogers.
She's on an iPad.
I didn't
Renee's on an iPad.
Oh, there's Sharon's iPad.
Yeah.
Here you go, Sharon. How you doing, Sharon?
I am fine. Hi.
We appreciate I know it's not easy going back a year and reconstructing and gathering the material to do the minutes from a year ago, but they are printed in the agenda. And Sharon, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I sent them out a few weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and asked for anything that I had wrong on there, and I didn't hear back from anybody, so I'm assuming we're okay on that.
Okay. Do you have any questions here to look at the agenda? Anything that you'd like to see? I thought you did a nice job on that.
Thank you.
I move for approval of the minutes of the annual meeting of June 2021.
Okay, Valerie's a motion.
Tina will second.
Tina will second.
Chester, is someone taking the notes since Tony's not here?
I'm
You have
making a
someone?
few notes and we are recording it.
Okay.
Hopefully Tony will be able to use that recording and take care of minutes for next year. Okay, how about, I
have
think
to
I've got
vote.
everybody on, sorry, what?
We have to vote.
Well, I was getting ready to do that.
I
Yeah.
beg your pardon.
Why don't we do a show of hands who vote to approve the motion, to approve the minutes? Show of
Who
hands.
votes? Board members?
Everybody can vote on this as
Everybody.
a member.
Everybody.
Yeah. And Karen, I believe you are a member. If not, we're going to send you a bill. Karen Archer's from Texas, and she recently joined us, and we appreciate that. So, okay, the motion looked to me like it's a unanimous vote.
yes.
I don't see any.
Yes, Chester,
Okay.
it did.
Okay. I'm making a few notes here myself. Okay. Let's go to the treasurer's report. Rosemary, I did send out to everybody. I'm not sure who you sent it to, but it's on a separate sheet because, as I said, Rosemary had to do that at the last minute. And Rosemary is one of those really picky treasurers. She likes to get it right. So we do
What's the
appreciate
matter
it
with
very
her?
much.
We need
Rosemary,
big-
do you have any comments? Rosemary, you are muted.
All right.
We can hear you now. Yes.
When we get to the budget, I have a correction to make, which is why the budget I thought was right, but I found where I duplicated something. So the treasurer's report shows what we started with was $5,724.53. The bank balance as of May 27th was $6,680.53. The current amount in the PayPal as of May 31st was $1,240.42. Adding the existing balance, the ending balance, and the current amount, we have $7,920.95 available. And we have some uncashed checks because I didn't make it to the bank this week. They'll be in the June board meeting, the June report. Membership was estimated at $1,630. Grants and donations was $2,202.70. Festival registrations was $2,544. Workshops, we took in $690. Total income, $7,066.76. In the expenses, we had a $100 donation to, you tell it, Tony, Chester, because I always get it wrong. Plains Indian and
Plains Indians and Pioneers Museum. And just for your information, they had given us $1,000 for the presentation we did, and we gave them back $100. They didn't care if we kept it all, but I thought it was very generous of them to go to bat for us in $1,000 worth. So we made a little donation back to them, and who knows, they may ask us again someday. You never know. We still are in the black on that one.
yeah, we spent $850 in event expenses for members. That was Woodward and Grove. So far, we only have really spent money for last year's festival in the reporting period of, but the combined amount is $564.19.
Hey, Rosemary, can I interrupt you just a second?
$14.19.
On the event expenses, Woodward and Grove, I just want to make sure that everyone understands, we did not pay anybody for those events a salary. It was only reimbursing some travel expenses because we really can't make money. So anyway, that's what, I want to make sure you understood that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, memberships, total combined was $275. We donated $150 to computer upkeep for Tina because she spent years and years and years doing printing and newsletter, and she's very generous with her time and efforts. Promotions included new member books, flyers, printers, printed things, and it came to $369.85. The storage unit for 1 year was $478. We had one person request assistance with Telebration. We spent $875 on workshops and related costs there. And the Zoom license was $149.90. So our total expenses were $3,911.94, which means we actually made $3,154.82 this year.
And you have no idea how this report relieves me, because one of my goals was to finish ahead of what we started with. And so I'm just really, really pleased about that. With a lot of people helped with that one.
Chester, as a former treasurer back in the 90s, when I had a budget, my treasurer budget was a little over $2,000. It looks fantastic to see what that figure is now. Yeah, I agree with you that that figure looks good.
Mr. President,
Yes,
I move
sir.
we accept it as read and corrected.
Okay, Fred, motion to approve, to accept the report. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. I'll second
And
it.
that's Sharon, a second. Okay. All in favor? Any other questions, discussion? Okay. All in favor of accepting the report? Okay, it appears again to be unanimous. Okay, thank you. That's good news. Tony has joined us now, so that's nice. So, Okay. Other reports. Sean Perkins wrote up a nice report there. Sean is not able to be with us. As you know, she runs her museum on Saturdays, and so she's there doing poetry with people, which is kind of neat. Sean is one of those real treasures that we never see. But she does stuff for us all the time behind the scenes with the website, and all that. We really appreciate it. But I don't know if you've had a chance to read her report about some of the stuff she's done, is doing, and some recommendations. And her point is she's willing to do a lot of stuff for posting purposes. She just does not have time to do the creation stuff and or editing stuff. But if you get the stuff to her, announcements and so on, she puts it out on the website, and she does a super job with that. And she's quick. And I'm a real Sean fan. Been to a museum twice now. It's just a nice thing to do. Do you have any questions that we'd like to share with Sean? Any comments or anything?
I just want to compliment her on how quickly she responds to requests. It's amazing.
I do think that next year you might give. I'm not trying to, tell what to do next year, but looking at some of that operation and making it a little slicker might help her and help membership too. But like you said, she is quick and she knows how to do stuff. So I appreciate it. I don't guess we really need to accept. Do we need a motion to accept that? I can't think of any reason we would.
I
Do we
think it's
need it?
information only, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, that's again, if you've not met Sean, she's also a really good storyteller. She does music, and she's got her podcast now, and she does all kinds of stuff.
Hester, I
Okay, ma'am.
have a question. Was Rosemary's Treasures report in lieu of the budget?
No, that's a separate item later.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay.
Yeah, that's a separate item later.
Are we gonna get to hear
Okay,
Tina's newsletter report? Does Tina have a newsletter report for us?
Tina said she was going to do a verbal one. Are we to that one yet?
I think Valerie's in front of me.
Yeah, Valerie, you had submitted a written report on some NSN activities. I hope folks have had a chance to glance over that. Do you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, I do want to make sure we recognize Fran Stallings, who ended her term as the South Central Regional Director of NSN, representing Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas. And Fran has been a fabulous representative for us for many years. And I think we should give her a round of applause.
In attending some of the other conferences I've done recently, it's kind of neat that everybody knows Fran, and you can tell when they talk to her, they have great regard for her. And Fran, we're just glad to have you as part of us. Dean, did you have something? I saw your hand was up.
That was applause.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Now, Tina, you had said that you would do a little verbal thing on the Tatler. Tell us what you think.
I just do want to apologize. It looks like we're lagging behind a little bit from everybody else. So hopefully it's not too bad. Basically, I just want to encourage you all to submit information to the Tatler. The next deadline is July 1st, so that we can include things that happen this weekend in the summer Tatler. If you're working on an idea that you need a little bit more time, if you'll just let me know about that close to the deadline time, I can just make sure that if I start with the layout, I leave some space for you.
Tina, I'll probably get you an article on the Arts Council grant.
Okay, thank you.
I've seen quite a few newsletters and that sort of information, and there's some really nice ones out there across the country, but nobody's is better than what Tina produces in terms of quality of a look. And Tina, we really appreciate it. But
You're
she
welcome.
can't create all that material inside. Somebody's got to submit stuff to her. But boy, we are lucky to have her. Okay, we got that report done. Someone else is coming in. Just a second. Let me admit her. And Dean, I did make you a co-host just in case you and Tony, did I make you one yet? I don't know that I have. Nope. Just a second. I may do that. Okay. Okay. Eldrina, I had a little communication with Eldrina a little earlier with a message. She's there to, first we want to thank Eldrina for the leadership on putting the festival together. And then of course she had the committee, all you folks that were on the committee, had input on that part of that planning and really appreciate it. And I know it was a little scary thing to do this year. Eldrina, the only message I had from her was that she was getting ready to meet family at the church. And I suspect that means her father-in-law passed away, but I don't know that for a fact.
Yes.
But that's, oh, you do know?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we've known for a week or so it's been a tough deal, but so okay. So we have to be nice to her next week for a little while. So it's been a tough deal. But anyway, I said earlier yesterday sometime that I've been proud of every festival we've ever put together. From those first ones, whenever the first one was, we can't agree on that one. But I just felt we've had some quality folks and we've had good times at all of them. And I just think this one joins the list of I'm proud to be associated with it. So I appreciate everybody. I have yes, ma'am. Okay, great. Okay, the next one, part D or E is, I went by and, I do believe in bragging a little bit and reminding people of all the good things. I'm not one of those who likes to sit back and necessarily, I like to promote stuff. So I thought I went through and got what I thought were some highlights we did this past year. If you remember, we started our first board meeting in July. I think I had 32 projects I wanted to do during the year. Well, we didn't get 32 projects done, but we got some of them done. And I'm pretty proud of what we did. Starting off, we had Elizabeth with her integrating poetry into storytelling 3-session workshop. And I thought that turned out to be great. I've never used poetry in a story before then, and now I've written 3 poems. They're not any good, but I've written 3 poems. But I just thought that was a really good opportunity for us, and it paid for itself. All you got to do is because I think people are out there hungry, and they're hungry for quality things. And Brooks was at the meeting recently when they were talking at that Tejas meeting that they may be hungry for across the country for higher level, more academic things, not just the beginning storyteller and how to turn on your computer things, the things that may be a little more academic, the research-based stuff. And Valerie, I know that you've done some of that sort of thing. So, but I thought that what Elizabeth did with us was very helpful to us. I thought the Laura Packer coaching demonstration was really good. I'm so sorry that we did not have more participants in that, but that was, I thought it was real good. Do y'all have any comments? A couple of you participated.
I participated and it was a wonderful experience. I got some great suggestions from her. I mean, as soon as our workshop session was over, I was over there, looking at the notes I'd taken from her, and she had some wonderful suggestions. And as I told her this morning, she is able to critique you without making you feel embarrassed or that you've made mistakes or anything like. She has a wonderful way of critiquing to let you know how you can improve that story. It was a great experience for me.
Valerie, I think you were one of the guinea pigs too, weren't you?
Yes.
You and Tony were the other two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great experience. And she was very generous this morning in her workshop.
Yes.
She offered 20 minutes of free coaching to anyone who for whom she had not coached before. So you can contact her to get that too. So yeah, she's
One of the
very,
little-
very
Go
generous
ahead.
with her time.
Yeah, she has a really interesting. One little side story on that is when Valerie's doing her story for that demonstration, Valerie's story went a little long, and so she had to stop it before it was over. Well, after the program was over, I got a call from my grandkids. They wanted to hear the rest of Valerie's story. So she kind of had to do a little custom deal to tell them how it ended. So I thought that was kind of for me personally, that was kind of neat. We did pull off a retreat in January. I'm very sorry. We had a live retreat planned. We had to cancel that at the last minute. And Sharon, you helped set some of that up. We appreciate what you did there. And they were very gracious at Lake Murray about not charging us any penalty for canceling kind of near the last minute. So we might want to remember that. But I like Lake Murray because we're trying to draft a few Texans to come north of the Red River too for join us maybe in the future. And the retreat still remains, in my mind, the most fun thing we do all year long. It's just kind of neat. And so, okay, but that was the new board's decision. We also participated. I really appreciate the North 40 Guild letting us participate. And Dean, by the way, who's been the behind the scenes guy for our whole deal, and he's not quite through yet, is a member of the North 40 Texas Storytelling Guild. And we participated in that Sheila Arnold deal. And in fact, that's an interesting model. Instead of charging individual people for doing workshops, you let guilds participate with however many people in their guild that want to participate. We might look at that down the road as some possibilities to create something. It becomes more affordable for everybody, but you can get it done. So I thought that had several lessons in it. We did do 3 practice Zoom lessons over the year. Liz and I tried to work on that a little bit. Liz, appreciate what you did. We could have done more, and we had planned to do more, but at least we got 3 done. I don't know who I'm hearing there.
Chester, could I ask a question?
Fire away.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, did you send notes out on what you're doing? Because I thought I printed everything off and I'm not finding.
Yeah, I sent it out about 3 times. So once, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just
Okay.
looking at my papers and trying to find it. So
Well,
I messed.
it's there as the agenda. I think it says final on the heading of it, but
Okay.
it's like 7 pages.
I have that many. So.
I think the practice sessions have a lot of potential down the road. So something you might, and it's a good way of sharing. I participate in other states sessions, and they're really kind of fun. I participate with San Antonio and Arizona, and you meet some really neat people out there. Item 6, we did the concert in Woodward at the Plains Indians and Pioneers. We had, depending on the count, I counted 46 people. Someone else said they had 50 show up there. I know they only had 2 empty chairs, and they were a little worried about that. But the best thing about it, I thought, was people were hanging around for 30 minutes after talking to the storytellers.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was pretty cool. In fact, an old farmer from Sealing that came up, and I talked to him recently. He said, "Man, that was really good for the people out here." He said it was just kind of what we needed. We also
needed that
did the
live performance. That was the first live performance that I had done since the pandemic started, and I'd forgotten how fun it was to see those live faces out there. That was a great experience, Chester.
It really was. People showed up early. We had Fred and Jay playing the flutes in the background, and anyway, it was a fun deal. We went to Grove, Oklahoma, and the gardens, and Fran was one of the tellers, and Eldrina, me, and who am I forgetting? Valerie. How could I forget Valerie? Because she wouldn't let us set up the thing in the front. She said, "We don't want that." For little things, she gets kind of pushy at times, but I got a lot of respect for her. but it was a great event and great enough. They said they wanted to do it again.
Wow. Okay.
So, and not only that, they helped reimburse some travel money, and they reimbursed more than what we'd asked for. And so it still wasn't enough to drive 400 miles or whatever it was, but it was a nice thing. The past year, we've gained some members from a couple more new ones from Texas. Karen's one of those folks. We have a lady out in Arizona that's joined us, although I haven't seen her since a practice session. We have someone from California. And Eden, I don't know if you're with us now, but Eden's from Brooklyn, and she has joined us. And her name has popped up a few times today, but I don't know if she came to the business meeting or not. But it's kind of neat. We're just meeting some neat people. I'm really proud of Valerie's workshop. Valerie, we're getting some good report. In fact, I got a handwritten note today thanking the organization for presenting that. It was from the lady in Missouri, I believe. I can't remember her name, but it was a long note, and she was so thankful that she thought it was very good quality. And I don't know if you've gotten reviews or not, but the feedback I've gotten has been very good quality, and I still want to be your agent to market it.
Thanks, Chester. I think maybe the Barbara Carter came from Missouri, and I saw her this morning in Laura's workshop. So
Okay.
I think she might be a new member.
As a matter of fact, yes. And in fact, if you recall, we packaged that as a deal. If you join the workshop and you wanted to join, you got a discount on your being a member. And that brought in 3 or 4 people, I think. And so that's something you might also think about down the road is, you're giving away something that doesn't cost you anything anyway. Anyway, Valerie, that was a good job. And I think that was really, really, really neat. We got 4 more issues of the Tattler done, thanks to Tina and the people who submitted stuff. And again, I'm just so proud of what Tina produces, just the good quality. And all those other activities, it's Tina in the background that's doing all that design work.
Yeah.
And she never says no. Sometimes she says, "What are you talking about?" But she can't understand my
Look
notes.
at all those workshops. She produced a lot of flyers this year.
She did.
Beautiful.
She did. And by the way, if we ever have a live deal again, I've made big foam board posters of almost everything we've done. I hope to demonstrate those with the pictures and everything. So that's kind of neat. I'm kind of pleased with, I don't know. Someone asked the hard question. Did the new member packet work? I don't know, but it's been fun to do. And I think I've had some positive comments from the people who've joined because they get the letter, they get that little outline from Tony, and they get Marilyn's book on Oklahoma storytelling. And I don't know if that's worth continuing or not, but it's been kind of, I thought it was kind of a fun thing to do. So you might have some ideas on how to improve that in the future. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's anyway.
I think it's
And then number 12, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a lovely welcome for new people, especially the history through Marilyn's book. That's lovely to know.
The other thing we might work on that is the idea is if you join, you might get the new edition of the book.
Is that
Marilyn, might we think?
Marilyn?
And then finally on my number 12 is another festival done. I counted, and I think my count is now low. It's probably closer to 30 people. Approximately 30 people have had a chance to tell and do some sort of presentation in the last 2 days. And I think that's kind of cool too. I like that a lot. And I think it's been a production that I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, when we first decided to do a festival, that was our goal, Chester. So that's a good thing to remind us of, that we have an opportunity to showcase our wonderful professionals here and storytellers in Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Okay. In fact, Karen, I want to put you on the spot. You're a newcomer to our festival. Do you have any comments that you'd like to share with our group?
Yeah, I do. I want to echo what some of the things that you just said, Chester, and that is one of the things is speaking and of course, learning. I know that festivals aren't necessarily for learning, but we can't help ourselves. When we attend, we learn something, and the sharing and the networking and getting to know other people, it has a really, really high value to it. I'm enjoying the festival a great deal and getting much out of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Well, any other comments? Did I skip over something that you think might have been worth mentioning?
Chester,
I will tell you one more thing I want to mention, and I'll show. We still have, I think, a really good relationship to our cousins south of the border, Texas. And I really like that because we share some members and we share some experiences. And I will tell you, I'm just now off the Texas board, but they work real hard, I think, to try to include us with some stuff up here and to make sure that we're not forgotten. And we are one of the guilds. Well, we're in a kind of slightly different category, but that's something I hope in the future we still maintain and maybe even can grow it a little bit. And of course, the way I tell it from my point of view, same people started both organizations.
Yeah.
Or were early founders of both organizations. And I like to brag about that. So, and Fran is one of those. So, okay.
Chester,
Anything else somebody needs to mention?
Chester, I found an answer to your question because I know that we had our first festival, Spirit of Oklahoma Festival of the year that we were celebrating the centennial for Oklahoma. And so our first festival was in 2007.
Okay. That's what I think too, but I got a couple of people still arguing with us.
No, because we did for the Saturday night performance, we did our History of the Heart program that we did, the 7 women. And we developed that program to do during the centennial year, and we performed it at the festival that year. 2007 was the first festival.
Okay. That's good information. Tony, do you have a question or point?
I actually did have a question. Did we have a festival in 2020? I thought we did not, that we skipped one that year.
No, we did
That was when we were supposed to have the festival in Lawton at the Veterans Home where Duncan Hall lived. And then that's when COVID happened and Duncan Hall passed away. And we decided it wasn't soon enough. We didn't have enough time to get an online festival together.
Well, Tony, we need to research that a little bit, but I think that that's a good question. Let's just put a little more work on that. But I think we did have, anyway, we'll find out. I think I have pictures of 2020, and I think it was a Zoom deal.
Yeah, it would have had to have been Zoom.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was thinking that year because everything was shut down in March and the festival was in June.
Yeah.
That we felt like we didn't have enough time to throw everything together. But
let's pursue that and find out.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time.
Let's pursue that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else somebody wants to bring up in this section? Just highlights of the year. Anything you want to? Okay. New business. Part of what we need to do are 2 items primarily. We need to elect officers. We'll do that in a little bit, but we also need to work on a budget for next year. And Rosemary has put out a proposed budget, and the way she set it up on the left side is actually what we did this year in terms of expenditures and categories. And on the right side is the proposed budget for next year. And so if you take a look at that and see what you think. And remember, budgets are living documents. You're not bound in, you can make changes, but it kind of gives you a guideline to build around for the future, kind of a structure. Valerie?
May I make a point of clarification? In Oklahoma, there is some confusion. about between the Oklahoma Arts Council, which is the statewide organization, and the Arts Council of Oklahoma City. So the item that shows up here in the budget under organization memberships is the Oklahoma City one.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good point. And you'll also see another entry there. It says OKC Arts Festival Partner. I'm assuming that's the vendor at the big art show that we get a percent of what they do. But Rosemary, I think you're on top of that, aren't you? You've got them separated out, or will have.
Yeah, that income is up above in the under grants and non-festival.
Okay, let me see if I can ask a question here without being muted. I need a correction on the budget on the spent amount. The last item, which is the Zoom license fees, it says $214.09. It should say $164.09, which makes the total 3911.94, not 396194. And once you've made that correction, you will notice that the budget and the treasurer's report are the same for the year.
Okay. Now, what we will be voting on, I believe, will be the right-hand column, which is the budget for next year, the coming year. Those items to the left are information items.
Does the State Arts Council even have members?
I could not understand.
They don't. The Oklahoma Arts Council does not have members, but I've had lots of questions about OKC and the state one.
The state one's not listed on here, Mallory. I mean,
That's because we do not pay them a membership.
right, exactly. So you're clarifying it, but on the paper it's correct, and
It
it's
is correct.
right.
Thank you.
Well, is there any more discussion on the column on the right? That's the budget for the next year, which starts, I guess officially it starts July 1 and goes through the end of June, I guess. Usually it goes from festival to festival is the way we think of it.
Our budget year is June 1 through May 31. That's our fiscal year.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I move to accept the budget as proposed.
So because of the annual meeting,
I second.
Okay, just a minute there. Rosemary, you might have said something there, but it didn't come across very clear. Do you have anything else you wanted to say? No. Okay. Tina, you made a motion. Motion was to approve the budget. And the difference is we're not
Yes,
accepting
sir.
this one. We're actually approving this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Tina's a motion to
I
approve.
just said that the reason that it's from June 1st is because of the annual meeting.
Guys, I'm sorry. You're just garbled. We really can't understand it.
Rosemary, you were clear when you're doing storytelling. Now, I don't know if it's your internet, but It's
Um,
fading out.
Okay, did I have a second? Someone did, but I did not get it down. Valerie seconded the motion.
Barbara seconded it. That's who I have down.
Yeah.
Oh, Barbara? Okay, that's fine. Okay, any more questions about the budget? If we need a minor clarification, I assume we'll trust Rosemary to fix that. She is going to be, she's on the ballot for the treasurer again next year, so we'll have a little continuity there. So all in favor of approving this budget for the next year? Okay, again, I see unanimous approval. Okay. Tony, if you're saying, or you're talking, I can't understand you. I'm going to mute Rosemary because I think, click back in if you need to, Rosemary. I think we're getting a little feedback there.
Okay, Chester, because
Yes,
we're
sir.
having trouble with her, she might put her comments in the chat.
That's a good idea. Rosemary, is there anything particular that you need for us to know? If so, could you put them in the chat for us?
It looks like she's muted. I don't know if that affects it, but she's muted.
Well, I muted her because we were getting feedback from hers, I'm pretty sure. Rosemary, is there anything significant enough that you want to put it in a chat so that we will know what it was you were trying to say? Or is it not that significant?
Whatever that means.
That means it probably doesn't that big a deal. Well, you guys can always fix it at the next board meeting if you have to, I think, although this is the annual, but
Yeah, I can't fix it.
okay, I'm gonna consider that motion passed and move on to the next item. The last major business item is the recommendation from the nominating committee for officers for next year. And I'm not exactly sure of the procedure, but my preference on the procedure is to consider, the first option would be consider the entire slate as presented from the nominating committee for approval. Does anyone have any question about that? Is there anything improper about that? Tony?
I think we are legal in doing that, but I think it needs to be clarified in case somebody has any of the questions concerning the bylaws, because the bylaws originally stated that a person can only be in a position for 2 years. Rosemary has exceeded that. However, I believe that a bylaws amendment was made that if a suitable candidate could not be found for that office, that could be extended. So it needs to be clarified that the slate of officers is in complete conformity with the bylaws and with the motions of the board.
Okay. Well, Tony, let me ask you this. Would we like to get into the minutes, a motion that the membership has approved a 1-year extension for the office of treasurer for Rosemary Zarsky?
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah, and I'll be the one that makes that motion. So basically.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a motion to extend Rosemary Zarsky a 3rd year as treasurer. Tina, I think you're seconding that, or is that a question? You're seconding. She's okay. Okay, there's a motion and second, and I think you got that written down to allow, actually begging, I guess. No, we really appreciate Rosemary being willing to do that because she does such a good job. Rosemary, if you'd screw up more, we wouldn't have, we could get rid of you. But anyway, the motion to approve the extending of 1 year for the treasurer is all in favor? Okay, again, it looks like it's unanimous. You are a popular lady. Okay, now I would entertain a motion to accept the. I'm sorry, Richard. Richard, you have something?
Okay, I think what he was trying to say was we voted to extend Rosemary's term, but we have not voted on the slate.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do.
He was asking if.
Richard, I'm
was
sorry, but you-
asking if
I
you still
think-
get a feedback.
I think we voted on to extend her eligibility under the bylaws,
Right.
if no one else was available to run.
Yeah,
So
the
now-
motion's already passed. The motion is
Right,
passed and done.
But,
Rosemary, you're in for a third year.
no. We did not vote on the slate of officers.
Not yet.
Yeah, but we're getting ready to.
Okay.
Hang in there with me. We're getting
All
ready
right,
to.
just making
In
sure.
fact, that's what I was saying. Is there a motion to accept the nominating committee
Chester?
report for officers for next year?
Chester,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a copy of the slate of officers. Could you
Okay.
tell us who the slate of officers are, please?
That's certainly a fair question. The nominating committee has recommended the following people: Barbara Jones for president, Liz Parker for vice president, Teresa Vale for secretary, Rosemary Zarsky for treasurer, board members at large, Sharon Rogers, Tony Hardman, Diane Fallis, Marilyn Hudson, Stephanie Scott, and Fran Stallings. That's the proposed slate. And then as the past president, you're automatically kind of an ex officio, but you won't see me much.
I move that the slate be approved as read.
Do I have a second?
Diane,
Diane, okay.
Mhm.
Are there any more questions about it? If not, then all in favor of accepting this slate of officers? And I say I appreciate them willing to do that. That's kind of an important deal. All the kidding aside, it's just kind of an important deal. And we didn't have any other new business unless somebody has thought of something they want to bring up before now. So,
Chester,
yes,
Chester,
yes,
I
Sharon.
I don't have new business. But I did find minutes from June 27th, 2020, our annual meeting. So, and it was by Zoom. So we did have a 2020 meeting. And I
Okay.
think that's what Tony was
Yeah, that was
asking
a
about.
question. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. We appreciate your checking that out. Valerie?
I would like to make a comment. I would like to thank and recognize Chester Weems for his outstanding service as the president this year. I think we'd all agree, Chester, you've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I talk too much. I know that. Thank you very much. Well, my closing comments basically are, it's been a pretty good year. There's things we did not get done, but we got a whole bunch of things done. And I'm just really, really proud of what we did by going down that list. And it looks like we're still around, folks. And there's some other people, again, a couple of the other organizations I belong to, having some of the same issues of loss of people. COVID has done its damage in some areas, but we're still here. And I'm so happy. We got several new faces, and I appreciate that. So I want to wish the well to the new board, and I think hope you have a great year. And I'd like to, at this point, yeah, Tony.
This is not official. We don't have to do it, but it has been kind of a tradition where at the annual meeting, the outgoing president turns over the leadership to the incoming president.
We used to have a gavel. Where did that go?
I don't know,
think
but
it
if
died
you
with COVID.
but if you look at item 8 on the agenda, it says comments by the new president.
Okay.
So I'm ready. I was getting ready to do that. Barbara, it's your ship to sail. So we wish you well, and we'd love to hear your vision for next year. and we're going to get out of here on the time we scheduled.
We did, great.
So
Well,
Barbara, it's yours.
I don't know how I can follow that act. I really don't. But thank you, Chester, for all you did. And my first goal is to follow through on all the goals that you have initiated. And I think that was a really good example, a model that we need. Because if we set our goals at the beginning, then we know if we've arrived where we're going. And so often we don't do that. So I appreciate you giving me a chance just to present a little bit to follow up on that. But I want to especially, like I said, to follow through on the things Chester did, continue with those. My objective for next year, first objective would be to try to find a place to have a festival. And I really admire Texas because it's such a big state, and yet they have made Denton work for them, which is not local at all as far as location, but they've made it work. And I think one of the main reasons is because the city supported them. All of our Texans here would probably agree to that. So my objective is to get a committee to do some research on an area. I prefer centrally located where we can find a place that will support a storytelling festival. And we need a group to do it. We don't need a person to go off on their own like we have had in the history and try to make that change. We have to have a consensus of our group. So that would be my first thing to build on for next year. So anybody want to step up and be on that committee? This is a good chance to do it, which is my next thing. I really want to see active membership. I think we got kind of lazy, all of us in our homes, or not just because we couldn't get out. And for some of us, it's hard to start moving out there again and getting involved. So we need to involve our membership as much as we can. And I think Zoom's been a good way to do that. And I want to also recommend Story Guilds. I think we have representatives from Texas here that already talked about their Story Guilds, what it's meant to them. And I think we have a pioneer in that in Maryland. So maybe she can give us some really good tips on, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but wherever Maryland's lived, she has initiated. When she's in Oklahoma City, I remember she had monthly get-togethers at downtown Oklahoma City, and that was a lot of fun. So I want to see us do some guilds. So if you live anywhere in Oklahoma, start looking around to see, and that's my next thing. I think we all belong to many organizations. And the first place we need to start, and Chester will agree with me, the group that he went to me that I'm a part of and I'll be an officer next year is our Association of Academy of Senior Professionals.